Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. All week, Battlefield has been dropping news, and every single one of these is a big W for the franchise. Today, we're going to go over escalation mode. We're going to go over a number of changes that they're making ahead of launch. But first, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get into the video. First, let's take a look at the 14 new licensed songs that are going to be in the vehicles. This is the list right here. This looks fantastic. I'm just picturing driving through the battlefield, explosions going on, helicopters and jets flying overhead, tank battles, infantry shit blowing up. You're just driving through in your Jeep, listening to nothing but a G Thang with your squad in the vehicle with you, guy on the gunner just mowing enemies down. This is going to be a fantastic addition to the game. Music makes everything better. And I believe over time that more people are going to join in on this and get their music in Battlefield as well, because it's a way for them to get their music out there to millions of people that may or may not listen to it on a regular basis. So on to the next one here. Escalation mode. This game mode I'm actually extremely excited for. It sounds absolutely insane. 64 players, 32v32 as usual. It's similar to Conquest, but instead of controlling 5 points, there are now 7 points. And in order to score a point, a team must hold a majority of those control points until a meter fills up over time. So with the 7 points, Team A holds 4 and Team B holds 3. Team A is slowly filling up their meter. Once that meter is full, Team A scores a point. The game resets. 2 of those points now get eliminated. Each time capture points get eliminated, vehicles increase. Here's the post up on the screen. Once the meter hits 100%, your team scores a single point. As the battle progresses, the number of capture point reduces, shifting front lines and key combat areas, forcing you and your squad to evolve your strategy. First team to score 3 points wins. Oh my goodness, if you look at this right here, this is clearly the last 3 points of the game. Look at all the vehicles. I'm just going to pause this video right here and see if I can look at all these vehicles. You have 3, it looks like Jeeps or the smaller vehicles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks. And this is just one team. And 2 choppers, looks like transport choppers. Maybe this one's the little bird, it looks like almost. But that's just insane. That's a crazy amount of vehicles for one team. All right, let's keep it moving. Installation customization. So you can choose which part of the game that you would like to install. Let's go through the post here. Battlefield 6 will let you install whatever you want on your machine. You can choose to have campaign, multiplayer, and or high-resolution textures for both. There's also new graphic settings above Ultra called Overkill. I wonder what that is going to be like. I'm going to try it, but I don't know if my PC will be able to run it. But maybe with the optimization that Battlefield 6 devs have done for the game, maybe. Definitely going to try it. Probably lag like a motherfucker, but we'll probably be playing on high or medium just to increase those frame rates. Let's take a look at the screenshots here. So you can install literally, this is for the people with like maybe not the best computers. Maybe they got limited hard drive space. They can just install the campaign. And if they're not interested in the campaign, they can just do multiplayer and skip the high-res textures and all this other stuff, right? And play with the lower textures, get their higher frame rates. Maybe they don't have the best GPU. So this is another way that Battlefield is making it more accessible for more people within the community to access their game. Unlike Borderlands 4 and Call of Duty, who make their games excessively large and excessively buggy and unable to run on lower end PCs. And I see that Battlefield is making the effort to allow people with lower end equipment to still be able to play the game. And here are a ton of different graphical settings that you can go through. Quality filtering, mesh quality, terrain quality, undergrowth quality. I mean, you can pause it and look at the whole list there. We're not going to go through the whole thing. Moving on to the next thing now. This is a big list of changes. I'm going to put each one. This obviously looks like a word salad on the screen here. So I'll put some gameplay in the background. And as I speak about each one, I'll just pop a screenshot of it up on the screen. The assault ladder can now be placed either up or down and can be used by every other class once deployed. Pretty self-explanatory there. Don't need to dive into that one. The engineer's vehicle supply crate not only resupplies ammunition, but speeds up equipment cooldowns for nearby friendly vehicles. It also automatically repairs friendly vehicles. This is one that I am kind of worried about, the automatic repairing of friendly vehicles, because now you have 4 engineers surrounding a tank. They cycle through dropping their equipment bags, So the tank is in a persistent healing state, and they have their torch as well that they're continuing to repair with. So I think it's going to make like tanks almost invincible if they're staying in one spot, unless you got like 6 engineers on the other team that just launched an insane amount of rockets all at once or something. That one I'm a little worried about. We'll see how it plays out in gameplay. You can no longer equip 2 launchers at the same time. You have to choose between anti-tank or anti-air. This I think is a good move. Allows for more squad dynamics. You have to choose between one or the other, and you can't just have both. And just makes for better gameplay, I think. The next one, Recon's drone default vision is thermal. That's fantastic, so you don't have to switch. EMP blast can now be used to destroy enemy gadgets or kill enemy mortar players. Mortars in quotations there. I think you're killing the mortar, like destroying the gadget itself, and not the actual killing of the player. So we'll see. You can't use it against vehicles. The lock-on animation is not very intuitive, and it has a very low battery life. So it may look like you can't just fly the drone around endlessly and keep going forever and ever and spotting everybody. There seems to be a cooldown, so maybe you have to bring the drone back, let the battery recharge, and you can send it out again, which I think kind of helps the pacing of the recon class. So you can, have your drone out, spot, battery dies, go out, go maybe snipe a bit, run around with your DMR, whatever you choose to do. Moving on to the next one. Every single gadget must be filled up at a supply crate. There's no longer automatic replenishing. However, your current progress will be saved if you move away from a supply crate. Yeah, that makes sense. Gadgets, you gotta go to supply crate. Are they talking about the supply crate that support drops? Or is that something different in the game? If you know, let me know down in the comments below. The green circle around supply crates, okay, so it's the one people drop. Should have just kept reading, eh? Now, we have a little icon at the bottom of the screen where you're within the effective area of resupplying. Well, that's really good. It kind of adds to the immersion feel. So there's not just a bunch of green circles on the ground. Everyone just has their own individual little flashy thing, letting them know that they're within the area, which is nice. Kind of cleans up the map a little bit and cleans up your screen. If you're running out of ammo, support players and supply crates will now start to pulse on your minimap, making it easier to find ammo. Fantastic, that's a great addition. The mortar has no follow camera like BF1. Once deployed, you can aim by using the minimap, and I think that's how they had it in Battlefield 3, so all good there. If you spot an enemy player by pressing the corresponding button, it will now appear a bracket indicating that this player was now spotted for your team. Manual spotting has a cooldown to prevent spamming of the button. I can attest to that. I sometimes find myself spamming the spot button. That's pretty cool because sometimes you're just scanning the environment and just spamming the spot button. This way you have to be more direct to be like, okay, do I see someone there? And like really focus in and then, hit spot. And if there's no one there, now there's a cooldown for you to be able to do that again. You can't just keep spamming it and just see the little red Doritos popping up across the map. I wonder how that bracket's going to affect. So the bracket's a bit less visible probably because you got that space in the middle. And we'll see how it plays in actual gameplay in a couple of weeks here. Recon's laser designator can now be used like binoculars or simply place in a location and remotely access it behind cover. It has more zoom options, including the normal and thermal vision. Very straightforward. And the rest of these are pretty straightforward. And, quickly thank you for medics. I remember seeing that one. And tap fire has been improved. Interesting. So burst fire, for those of you who use it, which you should, because holding down the trigger in Battlefield, it's not like Call of Duty. The recoil starts to get out of hand, which it should. All right, now on to another list of crazy W's for them, man. They just keep winning. They just keep updating and constantly staying in contact with the community, which I absolutely love. Let's get into this next list. All ground vehicles now have temporary recharging speed boost. Helicopter engine power has been boosted. I am dog shit at flying helicopters and jets, so maybe I'll practice more in this game, but right now this one does not apply to me. First person view in vehicles has been improved. They are now just as viable as firing in third person. I mean, I always fired in first person with tanks and everything like that. The only thing I really drove in third was the Jeeps, just because you can see a little bit better. The M87A1 shotgun now takes more pellets to score a kill. That shit was fucking way too OP in the beta. DICE has made several adjustments to the way weapons behave with recoil and firing characteristics, now more accurately reflecting the chosen weapon. I like that. Some weapons were like laser beams in the beta. I mean, I didn't mind. I was popping heads off like crazy. But yeah, definitely there were some meta builds. There have been changes to the range differentiation between weapons. Also good. We'll see how that plays out. Probably make snipers feel more snipery. And SMGs not be able to snipe people from fucking across the map. I remember some of that shit, and shotguns too. There have been changes. Okay, read that already. Derp. There have been adjustments to movement mechanics with the slide and jump speed reduced. Thank you, Battlefield. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please stick to your guns and do not listen to these brain rot streamers that are on the internet that are coming from Call of Duty. Do not listen to them. I made a video about this. I think it was Enders that had some bullshit video up talking about, oh my god, there's gun sway when you jump and the bullets come out of the barrel. Yeah, that's what happens. Realism. Go back to Call of Duty if you don't like it. Sorry, a little side rant there. Back-end and server-side updates to hit detection and netcode have been improved since the open beta. Not even going to pretend like I know what that means. DICE has increased inaccuracies when firing while jumping or sliding, contributing to gameplay pace that rewards skillful movement without being too fast or unpredictable. Again, thank you, DICE. Do not listen to the brain rot streamers, such as the one I previously mentioned just a few seconds ago. Operation Firestorm and Merak Valley include a wide variety of terrain structures that provide a lot of cover. I love how they emphasize a lot of cover because everybody knows in Battlefield 2042, those maps were huge with no possibility for infantry cover. Vehicles just murk. And just this last little one that I saw recently, based on community's feedback, again, them listening to the community, DICE has added a small spark effect to the defib to indicate whether you've actually revived a teammate or killed an enemy player. Obviously with the guys running around with the defibs. But that is crazy. That is a crazy amount of news that changes that Battlefield is making, all for the better, except for that, I mean, we'll see how it plays out, the engineer bag that you just drop and repairs vehicles. We'll see how that plays out. But Battlefield keeps getting W's, and they're going to, I mean, they might not outsell Call of Duty, might not beat, quote unquote, beat them, but they are making waves. They're bringing back competition to first-person shooters, and this is going to be good for all gamers. All gamers. Because now Activision and Treyarch have to step their game up and stop releasing slop every year. So maybe we might get good Call of Duties back again. But I'm excited for the campaign reveal next weekend. That's it for this video. Thank you for stopping by. If you stayed to the end, thank you so much. Please hit the like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and costs you nothing but about 5 seconds of your time. Thanks for stopping by. Adios, muchachos. La Sombra out.